US defense contractors such as Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, and others expect that existing orders for hundreds of thousands of artillery rounds, hundreds of Patriot missile interceptors, and a surge in orders for armored vehicles expected soon will boost their results in coming months. The Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022 is starting to boost defense contractors' revenues, as customers such as the US government restock supplies, ship to Ukraine, and countries around Europe arm themselves with an eye on Moscow's aggressions. US defense contractors such as Lockheed Martin, LMTN, General Dynamics, GDN, and others expect that existing orders for hundreds of thousands of artillery rounds, hundreds of Patriot missile interceptors, and a surge in orders for armored vehicles expected in the months ahead will underpin their results in coming quarters. New contracts to supply Ukraine directly or backfill US weapons sent to Ukraine were signed late last year, and now revenue is flowing to the big defense contractors. Lockheed, General Dynamics, and RTXN all reported better than expected results over the past several days, and executives expect both the conflict in Ukraine and Israel's war with Palestinian militant group Hamas to drive up near-term demand. We've gone from 14,000 artillery rounds per month to 20,000 very quickly. We're working ahead of schedule to accelerate that production capacity up to 85,000, even as high as 100,000 rounds per month. Jason Aiken, General Dynamics Chief Financial Officer, said on a call with Wall Street analysts on Wednesday. And I think the Israel situation is only going to put upward pressure on that demand. The General Dynamics Combat Systems Unit, which makes armored vehicles, tanks, and the artillery Ukraine uses, saw its revenue rise almost 25% versus the same period a year ago. RTX, which makes AMRAAM rockets used in Ukraine, said on Tuesday's earnings call with Wall Street analysts it has received $3 billion of orders since Russia's February 2022 invasion that are related to replenishing Ukraine and US war stocks, and the company expects more. Third-quarter sales for Northrop Grumman's NOCN Defense Systems segment rose 6% on high demand for ammunition and rocket motors used in Guided Multiple Launch Rocket Systems, GMLRS, which play a crucial role in supporting Ukraine's defense efforts against Russian forces. This is part of a global trend. Sweden's Saab EST, raised its full-year sales outlook on Thursday on the back of strong defense demand, and Germany's Rheinmetall, RHMG-DE, said third-quarter profit jumped on strong demand for weapons and ammunition. During his latest request for $106 billion in new funds for Ukraine, Israel, the Indo-Pacific region, and border enforcement, US President Joe Biden on October 20th said some of the supplemental request would go to companies that backfill production of US weapons sent abroad. Biden mentioned Patriot missiles made in Arizona and artillery shells manufactured in 12 states across the country, naming Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Texas. To be sure, executives from several defense firms at a recent trade show cautioned that a lack of skilled labor and supply chain issues continue to hamper companies' capacity to fill orders. The supply chain, to be completely candid with you, remains, and I think we expect to remain what I call fragile, General Dynamics' Aiken said on the earnings call, as the company said it was cutting its forecast for 2023 business jet deliveries. I don't think that's going to get back to what we saw pre-pandemic for the foreseeable future. Lockheed on October 17th said supply and labor disruptions are affecting divisions like aeronautics, which makes the advanced F-35 fighter jet due to the need for processor assemblies, solid rocket motors, castings, and forgings. Also, the F-16S are expected to be available to Ukraine by early next year, but before that, there's the need for extensive training of maintainers and pilots. Given the technical complexity and advanced features of the F-16, this is no small task. Ukrainian pilots will receive training in Denmark, Romania, and possibly other countries, including Greece, which boasts an experienced F-16 Air Force. Additionally, the US will commence training Ukrainian pilots in Arizona this October. One significant concern is the vulnerability of the F-16 bases in Ukraine to Russian missile strikes. This necessitates additional ground support equipment and contractors to ensure safety and operational readiness. Despite these hurdles, the deal stands as a testament to the international effort to fortify Ukraine's long-term defenses. In the grand scheme of things, this F-16 deal is more than just a transaction. It's a strategic move, a statement of support, and a lifeline to a nation in conflict. Despite the challenges, the deal is a part of an international effort to strengthen Ukraine's long-term defenses and a substantial revenue stream for the US defense sector. Another major weapon that has seen an increased demand due to the Ukraine conflict is the Javelin anti-tank missile system. This state-of-the-art weapon system has been instrumental in Ukraine's defense strategy against Russian tanks. The Javelin, as it's more commonly known, is a shoulder-fired missile system designed for precision strikes against armored vehicles and fortifications. It is a fire-and-forget system, which means that once a target is locked on and the missile is launched, the operator doesn't need to guide the missile, allowing them to reposition or engage other threats. It's a weapon that's proven itself on the battlefield, and its effectiveness hasn't gone unnoticed. The Javelin's reputation has been bolstered by its performance in the current conflict, leading to a surge in demand from other nations keen on bolstering their own defenses. And while these weapon systems are playing a pivotal role on the battlefield, they're also making waves in international events. A recent expo in Abu Dhabi saw an interesting interaction between US Army soldiers and Russian weapons contractors. Despite the ongoing conflict and their nations being on opposite sides, the soldiers and contractors found common ground, even sharing a friendly exchange over the Javelin anti-tank missile system. This interaction illustrates the strange duality of the defense industry, where camaraderie can exist in the same space as conflict, and business interests often blur the lines of national alliances. The Javelin's success on the battlefield has had a significant impact on the home front as well. The companies manufacturing these missiles are seeing a boost in their revenues, as demand for the Javelin continues to rise. This increased demand has been fueled by its proven track record in Ukraine, where it has become a vital part of their defense strategy against Russian armored units. The Javelin system's effectiveness in the field has not only proven vital for Ukraine's defense, but has also contributed to the financial success of its US manufacturers. While these individual deals are significant, they are only a part of a larger picture. As we delve deeper, we begin to see a pattern emerge, a trend of increasing revenues for US defense contractors due to the conflict in Ukraine. It's not just about the F-16S or the Javelin anti-tank missiles. It's about a comprehensive suite of weapons, equipment, and training services. These companies are seeing an unprecedented surge in demand, leading to a significant boost in their revenues. In the world of business, this is unquestionably a success story. But when we pause and consider the context, we realize that these profits are born from a landscape of devastation and conflict. The harsh reality is that war is a lucrative business for those who supply the tools of destruction. Every missile launched, every jet in the sky, and every tank on the battlefield represents a transaction, a line in a ledger, a boost to the bottom line. But what about the ethical implications of this profit-making from war and conflict? Is it morally acceptable to profit from the suffering of others? These are complex questions that don't have straightforward answers. However, they are questions that we must grapple with as we navigate through an increasingly interconnected and conflict-ridden world. Let's remember, the defense industry does not operate in a vacuum. Every sale, every deal, every contract is sanctioned and approved by governments, often as part of a larger geopolitical strategy. These companies are part of a complex web of international relations, politics, and economics. So, while we may focus on the profits and the deals, let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. The human cost of these conflicts. The lives lost, the homes destroyed, the families torn apart. These are the true costs of war, and they far outweigh any financial profit. As the war in Ukraine continues, the profits for defense contractors are set to increase further, raising serious questions about the economics of war and peace.